Oh, yes. Excellent connection. Let's hope it stays. Greetings, beauties all over planet Earth. Coming to you from South Australia. It's warm today, and I look sleepy. It's because I am still very tired. I have been up in the desert, and I did not sleep on Saturday night because I was driving. As I do, I'm a night rider. Through the midnight desert. Oh gosh, amazing. Wilpena Pound, imagine full moon, just, cascading shadows over all these peaks and um, all along that range. Oh, look, it's magical. It's so magical. And you have to see it to believe it, because um, seeing it on a picture is, I mean, how can you convey energy through a picture? I mean, you can obviously feel a little bit, but nothing like living and breathing and seeing it with your own being. It's amazing. Don't mind my chickens. We have one laying here. We have Venus down here. Hello, Venus. Oh, there she goes. And yeah, my gosh. We are, I don't even know what date it is. We're almost in March, and I am so looking forward to the winter. I cannot even begin to tell you this. I feel the summer this year has made me a little brittle, and the summertime represented a lot of change for me, as I'm sure it has for you. I know it has for you because I've spoken with some of you um, during readings or just emailing and catching up. And a lot of you have been experiencing the same thing, wherein um, you have either um, not been forced to let go, but perhaps because of circumstances or people, you've something that you have been thinking about, or it's been accumulating and building and building and building, and it's just come to a head in these last several months, and you have done the chop. You have cut ties, you have let go, you have done things that you wouldn't necessarily do ever. And I feel you, because I've had to do the same thing. And um, letting go, the act of letting go, which is today's theme, it can be very subtle. It can be done. Sorry, I'm just swatting a mosquito. Plenty of those around. That's another reason for my brittleness. Um, so the act of letting go, it can be quite subtle, depending on where you are with your energy frequency, where you're oscillating at, or it can be very dramatic, as it was for me. Um, I don't like confrontation, as I'm sure many of you don't either. Most people in the world, they do not want drama. They do not want um, problems. They don't want to have big confrontations. Most people in the world, they like a peaceful, simple, happy, fulfilling life. Do you agree with me? I think that's the deal. So I'm just checking my stream here. Hi everybody. Um, However, sometimes when events and things, circumstances happen wherein you're not forced, but higher self, your the spiritual essence of yourself, whatever is not serving you, um, it could have been building for a while, and things just come to a head and accumulate, and you are not forced, but you are basically at the point, like scales, where you have to make some drastic change. And, it may feel like the scales are like tipping to one point, but this is the whole theme and transitional time of the planet and our own evolution is that whatever doesn't serve us, circumstances, people, um, places, you have to make a choice and you have to make a change. And it's tough because nobody wants to. I don't think most people want to cause disruption and hurt somebody else, because cutting someone, if you have to do it dramatically, it can make you very well question what it is that you're doing, and it doesn't feel good. I know this, you know this, from your own experience. I'm sure so many of you know this, but for the well-being, the general well-being, and your own progression, these things have to be done. And because if they're not, and you are tolerating, I'm not talking about tolerating your own weaknesses, but you're tolerating somebody else's, you are only being a disservice to your own being. And this is what I'm saying. It's tough. It's tough to let it go because there's emotions involved, and then if the response to your letting go is not taken well, it makes everything that much more difficult, and it makes you question, your choice, and it's awful to hurt people, to let people go. People feel rejected because they're not getting the bigger picture, and and even if sometimes you approach it and hope it can be a very um, cordial and a peaceful parting of the ways, usually when there's emotions involved, it gets heated, it gets very dynamic, very passionate, and what you had intended to be something amicable and peaceful can turn it into full blown out bitch up or bitch up. I don't know where I came from that, but full blown out ordeal, and it becomes more than what you wanted. That is the time where you have to cut and just silence. If it gets too much, you have to make that absolute dramatic cut, and that means basically just becoming invisible to them, to the environment, to the circumstance, and just removing yourself completely, and not fueling and perpetuating something that you just are trying to avoid. So the best thing to do for that is to focus on yourself. Focus on the things that make you feel good. Focus on the beautiful things in your life, the beautiful people in your life, the beautiful events, the beautiful pets, beautiful things. Because the more you focus on the things that do serve you and that you do welcome and that you do want, the more you are going to resonate at that frequency. And I've many times used the analogy of the fast flowing stream. The more you are in that fast flowing stream of good energy and abundance and thinking good thoughts and being around people that you love and that get you and you're good together, the more difficult it is to deviate off course. And and that goes both ways, because if you're on a path, if you're on the current of this river, and it's all unraveling in a negative sense, and it's the more you focus on the negative, the harder it is to get off the course. The more you focus on the positive, the harder it is to get off the course. So it depends entirely on how much energy you are contributing to something, whether it serves you or whether it doesn't serve you. And look, the energy is going to flow wherever that current is moving. And so many people forget the fact that they are the ultimate alchemist. And it is at least for me, I can only speak for myself, but I know it is absolutely a constant, I am constantly evaluating, and with my own personal experiences of making dramatic cuts, um, there's been a lot of thought and a lot of contemplation behind the decisions, and um, I will tolerate to a certain point. Um, Nobody should have to tolerate somebody else's weaknesses. Um, Obviously, you can be flexible, and it's not about tolerating. It's not about not accepting people's differences, because differences are fantastic, and differences are what makes us unique and beautiful and amazing. It's not about that. It's about feeling like you have to compromise your own well being in order to please or keep somebody or something in your life that does not serve you. So it's tough. It's tough, and it's not as it's not as easy done as saying it, and we all know it. And but once it's done, you can feel the burden lifting. You can feel the space, the relief from doing that, and it feels so much better. Um, it may take an adjustment, but it has to be done, because you cannot compromise your own being and your own experience here on planet Earth. It's we only have such a short time with our time here on this planet. We don't, unfortunately, we don't live in the time of the ancient epochs of living for 800 years. Perhaps we will, because there will be very much dramatic changes coming in the next 50 years. I feel it coming to a culmination point, and when this happens, judging on the timeline psychically, when it happens, you have to be the best representation of yourself. This is just what I'm feeling when, I converse with spirit, when this culmination point happens. And even this, and they're saying to me, even this culmination point is still not set in stone, because the frequency is always changing. So the date is not permanent, and I very much feel that. But when it does happen, there's no turning back. There's no turning back. So I feel like psychically, you need to prepare the framework. You need to prepare the foundation, and I feel the direction of where my videos have been heading with this is talking about the preparation, and you know establishing and reevaluating your foundation. I am constantly evaluating myself every day, whether it's to do with my garden, whether it's to do with life in general. All these little goals. Have I had a good day today? Have I put in some good? Can I put in some? Have I put in some good effort with what I'm contributing to my place, Elnor Gardens, every day? And my outlook. Many things, because I have for sure questioned my decisions. No matter, it's just it's a human thing to question yourself, and I think it's healthy, um, because it brings that awareness back to living a very conscientious life, living and you're very aware of your conscious imprint of what you are leaving behind. So it's healthy to question, but it's not healthy to go over and over and over and rehash and feel indecisive. So you have to have conviction in your choices, and believe in what you're doing. Believe in what you're doing, and um, trying and doing the best, not even trying, but putting your best foot forward. Trying is always a half-assed thing. You can't keep trying to do things. You either do it or you don't. So it's rewording how you do things as well. But you have to put your best foot forward. And let me tell you this, you are never going to please everybody. You are never going to be friends with everybody. You have to let that sit within you because, you know, on a quantum level, everybody's frequency is so different. You can't expect to mesh with everybody's frequency, and get along with everybody. There's going to be people that come to test you. There are people that are going to come and just love you. There are going to be people that betray you. There are people that are going to come that um, uh, will test your boundaries. And events, sorry, events as well. Events are all in this. There's going to be people, events, circumstances that are absolutely going to test everything about your being here. This is so concentrated and condensed this time here on planet Earth that it's going to be a very dynamic, and it is a very dynamic time. Now, I hope we're still live. Oh, yes, we are. Very good. So, hello, everybody. Oh, so nice to see you all. You know what? For the last live stream, I don't think I selected seeing the chat. I am just, oh my gosh. I'm terrible with settings on these things, but I think it's come up now. I'm seeing these mosquitoes. I really want to shut this door, but I have a chook sitting on the doorstep. And we've got these ones in here. They're in their own dynamic right now. Yeah, they're I don't know. They're going through their own seasons because they were laying in the workshop. Now they have decided that they're laying under my lamp. I guess the energy is very good there because two of them are in there right now and they're working out who's going to sit down and lay. They're talking with each. Oh, Venus, you cannot hijack her. Venus has the habit of hijacking, pushing out another chook. This is Shalaha in the back. Of pushing out the chook and or trying to squeeze under their feet and rob the eggs so she can sit down on there. Look, can you see her? Gosh. The dynamic is very shifty with these girls. Oh, Shalaha, have you been pushed out, honey? You been pushed out? Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Hi, Monique. Toto. Hello. I love your lashes. Thank you. Oh, thanks, Monique. Hi, Joey. Hi, honey. You're looking good too, honey. I know you love my dancing. Hi, Laura. Hi, the Green Goddess. So happy I caught you live. Hoping you are having a beautiful day. Thank you, honey. Yes, very much so. Hi, Vanessa. I got your email. Oh my gosh. I will email you back in the next couple of days. But I'm so happy for you. Well done. And this is the thing. If I can use Vanessa's example, like people are deciding and wanting to move, wanting to relocate, because they realize wherever they are is no longer serving them, and people are making dramatic changes in locale and their environment because they are feeling the change and they feel, the need, the urgency, like I felt, to go back to the land, to go back to what we are, the Lemurians, the Atlanteans, to go back and have a homogenous blending of technology and nature, because I do believe there can be a very good blending of both. But I have never enjoyed being in a city for too long. I have always felt the need to have to go out. If I've ever lived in a city, I could not survive. When I lived in New York City, I could not survive in that place. It was slowly killing me, that place. I couldn't touch soil. I couldn't see enough trees. I couldn't see mountains. I couldn't see enough blue skies. and I just knew my days were limited there. Gosh, it was, for me, it was brutal. But other people may thrive in that environment, and that's completely, that's their path. That's absolutely fine. And I get that, and I'm sure you do too. So, this is what I mean with these drastic, big changes. They have to be drastic and they have to be big and bold in order for massive transformation and change. That's just how it is. Monique says, this topic of letting go is so relevant to me. Yesterday, I had to let go of someone who has caused me a lot of pain and remove them from my life. Yeah, girl, I am feeling you. I have also had to make some very dramatic choices and changes in the last couple of months, and it is tough, and it hurts. It's painful for everybody involved, but it is the best at the end of the day because the weight lifts and the burden shifts, and it gives you that space that perhaps inhibited you to pursue, you know, other avenues of exploring your authentic self. So, and it is tough. It is tough. It's very tough to let go, and saying it and doing it are two completely different things. And I think you all totally can empathize with that. Chronic Fish says, I need to let go of bad habits. I need to let go of pain, both physically and emotionally. Such a relevant topic, Andulairah. Sending lots of love from Athens. Thank you so much. You're so sweet. Hi, Ramona. Hi, Tomboy. Haven't seen you in a long time. Oh, Ramona, we're here together. So, it is so relevant because I feel like everybody is constantly shifting, but I feel, energetically speaking, psychically speaking, um, this window of 2 to 5 years is some real dramatic changes, and it is reflected in our global um, circumstance. It's reflected in our global. It's mirrored in on the planet as well. So it's mirrored in natural events happening. It's mirrored in nature. Um, it's mirrored everywhere. So it's mirrored in children, and if you don't believe or think that your energy is felt, just because we can't see it, and just because, well, some people can obviously see it, but just because we can't see an energy or we can't see the impression of what our energy is doing around our environment doesn't mean that things and beings are not being affected. Everything is felt. It's like a cloud. It's like a wave, an ocean of energy that is always moving around you, and it's being absorbed and deflected and reflected and absorbed all over again. The trees feel you. Your animals feel you. I know when I'm restless, my chooks are absolutely restless as well. Same with the mother and baby. When I was up at the desert the other day, my gorgeous friend, she was feeling stressed and agitated. So was baby. Baby was very agitated and restless, and everything is felt. Everything is felt with everything. Like when I feel restless, the chooks, they change their calls. This little clucking and everything. So, and I'm sure the trees are also very respondent, but obviously, trees don't cluck. So, but I know actually from some scientific experiments that when you yawn, and it was recorded, when you yawn, any biological thing like a plant releases a kind of sprite or a shoots out energy, like it responds to a yawn, and I'm wondering if it would, it would do that with everything. Um, Probably an orgasm as well. It would probably release energy. So everything is mirrored in your environment, and not just on the immediate level. I feel like on a macrocosmic level as well. We just don't understand or fully comprehend how magnificent our impression is, and how much of it is left on everything else. Truly. And it is a daily, it's a daily, progression, and that daily refinement, because all these things that you do, all these small little things, all these small, fine, intimate details, small goals, small things are actually massive. Small thoughts are massive, because we know that with everything, with thoughts, nothing exists. Everything stems from a thought. It's a seed, it plants, and everything stems from a thought. And all these passive, unconscious thoughts that we think we are having, they go out, and they are forming their own reality. So even if you're having crazy thoughts, they have to be, you've put energy behind them, so they have to be lived out on some other dimension, some other level, some other frequency. But everything has to be finished out. It has to be manifest. So don't think just because you have a thought that, nothing's happened with it. Everything happens with that thought, um, because there's energy behind it, and you've created it, or you've had an impression of it, you've picked up on the ethers. So when they talk about imagination and the Akashic records, what that really is I feel the imagination and the Akashic records are the exact same thing. Imagine is so underestimated, and again, one of those things that we could never possibly fully comprehend. I believe spiritually, like psychically speaking, I feel the imagination is just the culmination of the universal mind, of everything, of every thought, of everything in existence, and we just tap that, and we tap that more so in the dream time, because of obviously our brainwave state, where we usually drop into a theta or delta brainwave state. I think it's anywhere, blurred in between a theta and delta. And when our brain cycles have slowed down to that extent, we allow for this information to come in very easily. But when we are active and alert and busy in the alpha and in the beta brainwave, we are not as, our conscious waking selves are more at the forefront of our being for the day. So the dream time and the imagination, although there may be, of course there's constant dialogue, but our visions and our experiences in other dimensions, the other portions of ourselves, are more apparent when we are restful, and either when we're in a meditative state, or, obviously when we're sleeping. Or sometimes when you're driving, when if you're on a long road like I was the other night, you drift off, and you have thoughts and you have visions and things. My gosh, that would have to be one of the hardest drives I've done, because I left the desert. There was a big party in the desert, and I left at 2:30. Oh, and anybody knows, like, I don't think it was a silly choice, because I really wanted to do the drive. I wanted to have the full moon on my back. I wanted to be out in it. I'm a child of darkness. I love being in the dark, and I love the beautiful big starlit sky, although I didn't see much of it because it was such a full bright moon. The drive was just magic, and it's in these drives that I feel my energy shifting, and I get visions and I get clarity, and the drive seems to be become that much more condensed. Um, However, even though, so I drove through my tiredness, I was so lethargic because it was late. I'm a farmer now. Like, I usually go to bed about 10. I'm up with the sun, so I, go down and then I'm up with the sun. Um, and I had to constantly look for kangaroos because they're nocturnal. They love feeding out on the small grasses on the road. Um, and they just blend in with the environment very, very easily. And sometimes not even that. They they may have a doze, they may sleep, and then if they see a light or hear a car, they get startled and they just jump out from a bush, a bush kangaroo. And, before you know it, if you're going too fast, you end up hitting them. And believe me, I have done that. And it's awful. But, gosh, I had some very, very, very close calls. I knew I wasn't going to hit anything. I knew psychically the road was going to be clear, as in I wouldn't have trouble. Like Spirit said, clear road. To me, I knew I wasn't going to run into trouble. And I didn't. And the same very place where I actually hit a kangaroo last year, I left my girlfriend's place, um, frustrated and angry with her. I've spoken about that before. Um, and I hit a kangaroo. So that's what I mean. Even though I wasn't speaking, I had the energy. I was holding that energy. And of course, it is going to be reflected around me. And look what happened. I busted my radiator, hit this poor kangaroo. It jumped out from a mulga bush and whack. As soon as I saw the temperature gauge just going up, I'm like, oh shit, I can't drive. I've, fucked the radiator. So, like 2 Ks down the road, I had to pull over, and I had to wait to get picked up the next morning until 10:30. 10:30 the next morning. So from 2:30 in the morning until 10:30 the next day. Oh my gosh. So, so this is what I'm saying. If you're holding a certain energy, either it's going to serve you or it's going to create something that you really don't want, or want to deal with in your life. And that is a perfect example. And I was not surprised that that happened because I knew how I was feeling when I left the desert. But this time, I left content. I was happy. I was at ease. I felt peaceful, and Spirit had already, like, we all know people that are from the desert not to usually drive at night because of kangaroos. But I felt like I had the all clear, so I went along. And okay, there were kangaroos and a lot of bunny rabbits as well, and everything was smooth, everything was clear, and so I rolled into, not home, but I rolled into town about 5 o'clock. I went up on this lookout. I had my mattress in the back of the car, got a blanket, pulled the tailgate down, and I just slept with the sun coming up for about an hour. And yeah, I wouldn't say I was rested, but that sunrise was amazing. So, again, being very conscious of the energetic imprint you are leaving behind. It is constant, and your aura in particular. A lot of you know that I can scan and read auras, and I'm sure many of you also have the ability to see colors, and see, the state of how your energetic field around you, the electrostatic field, the electromagnetic fields around you, being able to, view those and observe those, analyzing those. They are always changing, and they are never staying the same, ever. They change instantly. They change instantaneously. So your being, your electromagnetic self, the electromagnetic, electrostatic part of you is a reflection of what is happening inside, and not the other way around. However, if you are around a tree very close, or around an energetic well, like a cosmic well, if you are around certain things or people or animals, you tend to pick up their energies. You tend to pick up their energies, and it can either leave you feeling very, very good, or you can feel absolutely drained. So there is always an energetic exchange happening between you and your environment. And this is why when I talk about sex, it's very, very important for you to choose your partner very, very well, because ultimately what sex is the ultimate energetic exchange on such a quantum level, on a DNA molecular level. And that's why sometimes after you have sex with people, you feel sick the next day. It's because you have basically been zapped of your good energy, and they've taken that from you. And this is why when people have an insatiable desire to have sex, and always having that desire to have sex and to be with multiple different partners, it is because there is a blockage of your root chakra energy. And it's just, psychically, it's like going around and around in a circle, and it cannot flow up and down, like a nice, you know, and you know what, psychically, it doesn't just go up and down, but it's so much bigger than just our physical aspect. So, but I know, and I've seen it, that with people that have a desire to have sex all the time, it's only because they want to feel good. They want to feel better, and and sex makes people feel better because it's a release. It's an exchange. There's so many elements to that energetic exchange that makes people feel good. Or even, just masturbation. It's just, people are constantly wanting to feel better. And so it's no fault on the person that has this blockage. Well, it is, because obviously it's the reason that they are experiencing this is because of either thoughts or things they're doing, choices they make. So, this is why there is this insatiable desire to have sex, is because they are not satisfied, and there is this blockage. And so energy is continually stimulated in that root chakra, very primal, animalistic aspect of ourselves. Usually when there's, massive domination or submissive qualities, it's an accumulation of um, blockages and murkiness around the navel chakra, and the solar plexus. And it's so, this to me psychically, this is why this is why people experience, they want to dominate people or like being very controlling, is because there is a lot of blockage and murkiness in those areas. So, so it's a reflection. Your aura is absolutely a reflection, and who you choose as a partner to be with sexually, and your most intimate self is crucial, because of the baggage and the exchange. Well, obviously, ultimately, there is going to be an exchange, but usually, because people are not energetically balanced where they would like to be, they don't feel good after it, or they feel tired. They feel like they need to sleep for a week, or they get sick. Their glands may come up. Or if you choose your partner perfectly, It could be the most sacred, most powerful, um, concentrated, you know, exchange between two souls. Like it can be absolutely magic, and a lot of you can also attest to that. So it's very interesting because um, this is not a practice that is, taught with doctors, conventional medicines, um, but the your 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 physical desires are absolutely a reflection of what is going on with you energetically. So that's how it is. Angry Birds, hello darling. Your video dancing in the desert was breathtaking. Oh, it's so funny because I feel like this when I'm out there. Oh, I feel so free, and I feel at one. I am reflecting the energies out there, and I pull up. I just open my door and I get out, and I just love the expanse. And Wilpena Pound, it's a wild place. And if you've seen my Stardust and Aliens documentary, you'll see I talk about it. That whole energy, that whole place makes me feel like that. So, of course, I'm going to get out and dance. I am reflecting how the energies are making me feel. So, thank you. Hi, Athena. How are you and the chooks going? Going very well. Yep, I think, is that Venus? She's giving me her tail right now. Yes, we are very well. I'm so happy it's getting cooler. I wouldn't say this week is going to be so cool, but um, I just love the days getting shorter. I love the days getting shorter. Ah, Angry Bird says, can't wait for the warm weather. I'm sure Andulairah has had enough of it though. I have. I truly have because my work has absolutely been cut out for me. And I am constantly watering. I have all these seedlings. Oh my gosh, they need constant care. And the summertime, the mosquitoes, which I've been constantly swatting in this video, the flies have made me brittle. And I want to de-brittle. I want to soften again. And winter, good weather just softens me so instantaneously. Um, Summer is just a brutal time, and I feel my frustrations. Um, I get frustrated a lot easier when it's hot and stinking hot and ants and insects everywhere. Um, but this is how it is. It's brutal out here. It's hot. Athena says, question, what are your thoughts on DMT use and have you ever tried it or maybe ayahuasca? Honey, so just for those of you that don't know what DMT is, it's called um, dimethyltryptamine. And dimethyltryptamine is occurring naturally in certain plants. It's belongs, to the hallucinogenic family. It is basically under the well, right or wrong conditions. It is dimethyltryptamine is occurring naturally in our bodies as well. And this is why I'm saying when you are in the dream state, there is a high concentration of serotonin, melatonin, and dimethyltryptamine, high concentrations, because these neurochemicals act like a thinning of the interface, and so you have so much more accessibility to to your expanded self, to the bigger portions, or not bigger, but other portions of yourself. And so dimethyltryptamine occurs naturally in a type of vine that's called La Persia is it in the Amazon? I don't know if it's in um, the Quetzalcoatl area or the Amazonian region. It's down there in Latin America, And these shamans and people that have obviously used this as communication to get insight, to get more perspective on themselves. It's been used forever down there by the ancients. But obviously now people are into experiencing the bigger aspects of themselves through ingesting this. They make a brew out of it, but it's not the most glamorous experience. And no, I have never done it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I feel like I've never ever needed any exterior, things, exterior permission slips to access the other worlds. Because being a psychic, being tapped into that, I have that already, and I don't feel a need for it. I never have. However, so it's made into a tea, and you drink it, and you can just, I mean, you're somewhere else for a few hours. However, there's a lot of there's been a lot of problem around ayahuasca with people, now that it's quite a trendy thing. People, a lot of tourists go down there for this experience, and there's been a lot of danger. Um, People that are calling themselves shamans that are making this brew, and it's killing people. People are, sick, or, you know, developing kidney failure, and sending people nuts. So a lot of it's, I think now there's a lot of regulation. I'm not actually sure, but I think it's illegal in America. I know there is also synthetic DMT that is probably on the black market. Can't imagine that would ever be legal. um, so I know there's been synthetic DMT, but I mean, look, if you trust in your own experience, if you trust in you, look, you can always have these experiences through meditation, through sound and light. You can. It's just a matter of reprogramming and teaching yourself to let go. I know there's been so many of you guys that have reached out to me through my website of your experiences when you have listened to certain meditations from mine, not just mine, but maybe other people's as well. So through sound and light, you can absolutely alter the frequency in which you oscillate, and or you can expand, and have access to other information and other energies. Um, there are so many different, I guess, permission slips to use if you want to have a, um, I wouldn't say it's a forced experience, but it's not natural. It's not natural. It's not natural. So, as in, it's not naturally occurring by your own means. You're having to take something, ingest something for the experience. There's another thing that's quite interesting. I don't think there are side effects like dimethyltryptamine, but there's something called the toad. It's called the toad, and I believe it is, and I don't know if it's cruel or not because I can't remember much about it, but I don't know if the toad, it's actually a frog like a toad. Is it in Mexico? Might be in Mexico, where I think they somehow secrete the glands of this toad, and they smoke it, and it just wipes you out and takes you somewhere else. And I have read some absolutely profound experiences, like it's been life changing for people that have had it. I think Mike Tyson might have had it. Where did I read it? I don't know. But people's experiences have been life changing, life changing. And I think it only lasts for a couple of minutes, but those minutes are out of control. So, and I definitely think I've just been bitten on the head. I know for sure that would not be legal in America. So no, I haven't tried it, and I'm not interested in trying it. But these things also come through honey, through sap, through anything. I'm sure I have got. Well, I do actually. I do in my workshop. I do have some hallucinogenic herbs and elements that will absolutely transport you. These are all permission slips, but just know that um, your body is fully capable of these experiences without having to ingest anything at all. Hi, Guru. Thank you so much. First time catching you live. Athena said, I remember once I had sex with this man, and the next day I had these seemingly out of nowhere flu like symptoms. I had never had anything like it. Turns out the next day he said he was using me. Oh, oh, well, there you go. So, yeah, low vibes. Low vibes. Matronix says, really enjoying all your Eleanor videos. Thank you. What an accomplishment from that long journey across the world to what you have now. Oh, it's nuts. It's nuts. But it's been a work in progress. We're all work in progresses. And I love hearing nothing more, like with Vanessa. And there are so many other people that are just going back to the land, going back to their natural selves, going back to simple living. Simple living is just, it doesn't mean it's not rewarding. Simple to me means decluttering and simplifying your life to what is important. Clean water, very, very good, high quality food, um, and removing the drama and the things that do not serve you. So, obviously this is tying in with our theme. And I love hearing nothing more about than these things. Oh, thank you. Main Warringa, lovely to see you. Hello from Wales. Welcome. Angry Bird says, by the way, do you think your mother stock date palms will bear fruit next year? I don't know. It's been a tough summer because we've had no rain. And although most of them are quite healthy, there are some that I am going to have to re-evaluate with their planting because they're not moist. They need moisture. We have just had nothing. And oh, it's just crazy. We have had, the last rain I said was December the 10th, and we have had nothing. So usually it breaks. Raining season happens. Shalaha. Raining season happens in the last week of March. So I'm hoping this is what's going to happen because it's been so hot. So I don't know if they're going to bear fruit. I don't feel like they will. Psychically, I don't feel like they will. Hi, Jamil. Love you so much from Trinidad. Jamil Dick. Interesting name. Athena says, I have never tried it myself, but DMT by itself is safer to ingest than ayahuasca from what I understand. I don't know. It hasn't really interested me, so I've never really looked into it too much. Tomboy says, I'd be too chicken shit to try something like ayahuasca. It's not even about being chicken shit. It's about, you know, not, not wanting to take the risk of that. It's too risky. I think it's too risky. Only reason I ask is because I have heard that certain psychedelics, including DMT, can possibly activate your pineal third eye. It made sense to me considering DMT is produced in the pineal. Yes, but it is entirely regulated. The body knows what it's doing. You must trust in what the body is doing. If it needed more, it would absolutely make more of that. I truly believe the body knows what it's doing. It's the same with this whole vaccination rollout. The body knows what it's doing. Trust in your being, trust in the sovereignty that you are. But when people are hearing and being around certain energies, the fear mongering, you know, theme that's playing out, people panic, people become anxious, and they start feeling the fear, and they feel like they believe that they need this in order to survive or protect themselves. we must trust in the sovereignty of what we are. If we are needing anything else, if we are needing injections, if we're needing needles, if we're needing DMT, our body would be producing it. So if you want to experiencing, believe me, your pineal, your pituitary, it's already activated. You wouldn't be existing if it wasn't activated. Everything about your body is working, and if it's not, that's when you become sick and imbalanced and you feel it. It's absolutely working. But if you're wanting to feel more of it, I would suggest either taking up meditation, introducing a cleaner diet, as in eating sun foods, light foods. Not light as in weight, I mean light as in, well, then obviously they are light. Fruit is your ultimate food in that it's produced by the sun. You're getting light information, light frequency, frequencies that are harmonious, that are balanced, that, trigger different experiences. So, that the whole saying of you are what you eat, you are exactly what you eat, in that if you're eating heavy, dense vibration, if you're eating it, you're going to experience it. But if you're eating light density vibration, you're going to experience that. So, it all comes down to that, and the constant chemical interactions that are happening. So yeah, I think it's very simple to change your experiences by what you are consuming on a daily basis without the necessary means of hallucinogens. Whitney, hi Whitney, hi honey. Whoops, oh gosh, how did I just skip all that? I love when I see you live. Many blessings to you. Many blessings to you too, Whitney. Toto, may I ask what your skincare routine is? Oh, honey, gosh. Well, a lot of fruit, a lot of water, clean water. I don't have one. I am so low maintenance, and maybe that's to my own advantage. I use my own homemade soap on my skin, and I mean, a lot of you have actually purchased my new rose cream skincare, but that is it. That's all I use is, and I don't even use my rose cream every day. But that's all been made, handmade, and I can't stress that enough. Is eating handmade, like eating food that's handmade, homemade, preferably from your garden, making soaps handmade, making skincares homemade. So I'm so low maintenance. I've probably got a bunch of mosquitoes on me right now because they're here. And my door is open. Actually, just 1 minute. I'm going to close that door because I don't want any more in here. Everyone's finished laying now. But yes, my skincare routine is so, oh my gosh, I'm very, very simple with it. Very, very simple. Don't use anything but natural things. And I probably look a little bit tired today because I had a big weekend, and it's always tiring for me. I don't know if other psychics feel this, but it's so tiring for me to be around too many people. And I was around a lot of people, and I feel the aftermath, and it takes me about a week to, or maybe about 3 days to unwind from that and recenter, realign, because there's so much dynamic energies around a lot of people, that anyone who is very empathic, anyone who is has a sharp intuition or sharp psychic ability, clairvoyant, will feel this, and this is why I prefer quiet get-togethers with maybe 1 or 2 or 3 people that I know. I don't do parties too much. I don't like big events. I don't like big malls. I don't like um, big traffic. I don't like, big, rowdy, crazy things. I like intimate, quiet, good conversation, um, dim lighting. I don't like any harshness. So parties are always, I mean, they're nice for a couple of hours, but then I'm done and I just want to leave. So that's what I did. I just left. And I usually just leave and I don't tell anybody and I just sneak out and off I go. Night Rider. Hi, Manita. Love and light to you from London. Wanted to congratulate you on your new setup and your amazing hard work. It is so empowering to see. Thank you so much. Your videos are always positive and relaxing for me. Thank you. DMT will take you down the rabbit hole and you'll forget when you come back. Will make you cease to exist for 15 minutes. Both can be made from acacia bark and both can be smoked. There we go. Yep. Yes, I agree. Don't take DMT at all. Meditation is always the best. And believe me, you can absolutely alter your frequency by changing your breath. Really, it's true. Your breath is like a bridge. Well, of course, it's a bridge. It's a breath. If you lose your breath, I mean, you will no longer be physical. You will be off. But when you change your breathing, this is why there is so much research and knowledge on breathing, especially with uh, oh my gosh, how has it slipped my mind? With Hinduism, is it Hinduism? Like with Kriya Yoga, it's very focused on breath work, and then there's obviously holotropic breath work. There's so many. Breath is everything, and these sages, these old ancients, obviously knew the power of the breath and how it regulates and controls which frequency you are oscillating at. Vanessa says the COVID vaccines are all about control, truly. I would die outside homeless, give up everything to avoid those toxic vaccines. Me too, honey. At least I maintain my dignity and freedoms over a piss poor quality of life. Girl, did you know the massive, oh my God, I feel so proud of people. The massive protests in Victoria, it's actually a state in Australia. People, oh no, oh no, why has my live stream just disappeared? As soon as I start talking about vaccines, it's disappeared. Hopefully, I'm still here. Um, we've had massive protests about people um, about having mandatory vaccination rollouts, and people have just, oh my gosh, they just overwhelmed the police and engulfed the police, and they could not. It was out of control. The people just outnumbered the police force, and it just went mental. And I knew this would happen. I knew there would be outcry, and I just feel so proud that people are recognizing their sovereignty, they're recognizing their power, and that this is not okay. Nobody has, and I've always said it, nobody has the right to tell you what you can and cannot do with your own sovereignty, with your own being. And so I'm so glad that people have risen up and absolutely know and respect their place in this, and that nobody is above them. If you are a good, abiding citizen, you are respectful of other people, you do good unto others, you do good to yourself, you do not need rules. You do not need to be censored. You do not need to be controlled. If you are a good citizen and you are peaceful and you for the most part you try to put your best foot forward, you don't need rules. You don't need rules. I don't need rules. I don't need somebody telling me what I can and cannot do. Do you? I know you don't. So, I feel very proud that people recognize their power and they would stand up to this, because this is criminal. This is criminal for somebody else or for something else, because now it is, it's its own monster, this thing, for something else to come along and tell someone, if you don't do this, you're going to be fined, or you cannot enter this place, or you cannot be in this place. If you don't do this, if you don't have this vaccine, you are going to be limited. Your civil rights and your civil liberties are going to be limited. That is criminal. That is not. That is compromising who you are as a human being, and it doesn't take um, a rocket scientist to have to tell you that. So I feel proud that that's happened. That people are feeling the same way that I am. Tomboy says, I'm really enjoying your egg soap. I forgot the name of it. It's called Finezra. I hope you do enjoy it, because my chickens are the most happy, spoiled, loving, affectionate chickens, and their eggs are amazing. I have never ever had a rotten egg from my chickens, ever. Obviously, they have had, depending on the season and the cycle, they have sometimes laid soft eggs, but it's to do, I feel like I've never had a bad egg. So even with those soft eggs, they've never been bad. You could probably eat them, but like, they've never had a bad egg. They are such good, happy chooks. They should be. Athena says, yes, I noticed that since I started eating vegetarian, my intuition has been so sharp. But I'm not psychic, at least not all the time. Occasionally I'll pick things up, but I can't channel or divine at will. I would say remove yourself from technology. Make sure when you sleep at night to try and turn off as many electronics as you can. Put your feet in the ground. Go and plant your bare feet in the ground. Simple little things. I sleep with everything turned off now. I don't even have soft. I used to have echoing music. Sometimes I might, but now I've turned everything off. Everything except my refrigerator. And sometimes in the winter, I would turn that off as well. So I turn everything off. Phones are absolutely away from me. As you know, I'm back on my old iPhone now, and I love that I don't have immediate accessibility to all that social media stuff. And I'm not saying social media, again, it's a bit like money. You are the one that gives it good energy or not. You can't blame the app or the social media. It's the energy behind it. And so I've seen a lot of good on social media. I love seeing gardening posts. I love seeing good things. And so there's that on there, thoughtful posts. So it's, again, filtering out what you want to see. I do get frustrated when I see a bunch of ads and things. This was what pissed me off before. It made me delete my accounts, is because I was just sick of seeing the ads. But I'm not on it enough now to I was never on it enough, but like, I'm just not on it enough to see all that. So, and I appreciate and realize how much people are on these things. So I like to post every now and then. Ah, goodness. Tomboy says it's my favorite out of all of them, and I've tried so far, and smells awesome. Not too strong for me. You know what? I don't know what it is about that soap, but it does. It smells amazing. And I'm wondering if the chemical reaction from the egg and the lye and the oils together have made it smell like that, because I haven't put anything more or less like I would in my other soap. So I tend to think it's that egg that there's been some beautiful chemical reaction, and it is. It's a beautiful soap. So anyway, I'm kind of getting eaten right now. My head is probably, let me have a look. I haven't even, yeah, oh look at the bites. I think I'm so used to being bitten now that I will swell up for about 10 minutes and I'll feel the bite, but then I'm bitten so many times a day now that they just kind of disappear after like the next day. So I'm not itching and scratching. But with midges, when I was up at the far north, oh my God, that was just, I was slowly going crazy. So anyway, people, beautiful people of Earth, I am out of here. I am going to go and do some work. I've got to go out and water my garden. I've got to go and water my seedlings, and I'm going to get back to my life at El Nor. So I hope you have enjoyed the theme today, the act of letting go, getting rid of what doesn't serve you, and having conviction when you do that, and appreciating everything that you are. And you do not need to be or have anything else. You are a complete kit. And it's all about just refining what you want to see and what you want to be on this planet Earth, and being the best example of yourself. You are so divine. You are as divine as everything else in existence living here. Even the rocks, they're on some level they're alive, and they are oscillating at a frequency. It's just a lot more denser than us. But you are so beyond anything you could comprehend. And so when you ever feel lost, or when you ever feel not worthy, just remember that you are divine. You really are. I don't know what else to call it. I just know that you are made of that essence that is just so unspeakable and so almighty, and so and just it's just in everything that we see and touch and taste and experience. And you must have faith in your own power of what it is that you are, and don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. um, Even if you are the only person on the earth that, if it's like you're David against Goliath. Like, even if you are the only David on the planet, and everything else is, everyone else is going their own way. And, just quickly, like, you will see that with everything that's been rolling out on this planet, people are shifting and moving in a different direction, where the renegades, us, the conscious knowing, and believe me, there's a lot more conscious people than we are aware of, that they know within themselves that something is not right, and so they are going to separate. There is going to be a huge separation for those that believe in the sovereignty of what they are, and then those that, you know, have this fear and that they need protection, and they don't believe so fully in their own sovereignty, or they are willing to compromise what they are in order to get paid, or to have money, or keep a job, or keep a reputation. I can't live like that. I would rather be in jail than to compromise my sovereignty and what it is that I am. So, beautiful people of the earth, your witch has got to go out in her garden. Say hello to all my plants, all my date palms. And I want to send you my love, my blessings. Thank you so much for giving me your time today and listening to my live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, may you always, always, always be blessed by the supreme truth and love of the cosmos, and know what you are. I love you.